what an eventful first 2 laps. McMurray continues to lead. Oh, we got a crash in turn number 3. Big hit for Stewart and Carl Edwards. And what a hard impact into the outside wall. And what an eventful first 2 laps here. That was so much to diagnose. It looked like Tony Stewart here must have blown a tire. It might have come from some debris or something that was in turns 1 and 2 from Paul Menard and Jr. getting involved with each other. And poor Carl Edwards heading down into turn number 3 just plows into Tony Stewart. Comes Tricks out of the inside. Contact off turn number 4. 4 laps to go here today in Martinsville. Oh no! Pushed into the wall. Hard crash. And into the outside wall. Yellow flag is out once again here. And man, the 18 took a hard lick into the outside retaining wall. Contact with the 70 to Martin Truex Jr. put him there. And let's see what happened here. They made contact coming off of turn number 4. And Kyle Busch had the outside lane. Looks like Truex was on the inside. Made a little bit of contact there. Busch had the lead. It looks like he might have tried to clear himself heading to turn number 1, that is, excuse me. And was not clear. And he just got spun up into the outside wall. Back out of the front stretch. Matt Kenseth is your leader. Whoa, they're sideways off turn 4. Hard into the outside wall. One car up at his roof. It is Denny Hamlin, your most recent winner. Up on his roof. Toppled over at the start-finish line. And Matt DiBenedetto buried underneath the number 42 of Kyle Larson. Red flag is out on the back straightaway. Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards back there. And let's see what happened here. Coming off turn number 4. This is like the battle for 4th or 5th. Kyle Larson and Trevor Bayne get together. They make heavy contact with the oncoming traffic behind. And Denny Hamlin somehow ends up on his lid. See contact off turn 4. Larson back up into Denny Hamlin. And he got plowed by the 18 of Kyle Busch in Indianapolis. Matt Kenseth leads, Sorensen second. Then it's Kevin Harvick third down the backstretch. That 20 car is beginning to open. Oh, trouble in the back straightaway is Carl Edwards. His teammate crashes in the back straightaway. That car got airborne for a moment and arrests back down to the inside wall on the back straightaway. It looked like contact with a 31 of Ryan Newman. Here it is. Off turn number 2. Whoa. Man, it looks like his car must have gotten a little bit loose there off the exit of turn number 2. You can see right here the slight tap from Newman. It looks like got him spinning around. See the 5 side by side for a second still. Oh, trouble in the turn number 2. It's Kevin Harvick and Carl Edwards hard to the outside wall. And Carl Edwards took a massive hit for the 3rd race in a row. And what a tough start to this season for the 19 Toyota from Joe Gibbs Racing. And Kevin Harvick once again gets into trouble as well. And let's see what happened here coming off of turn number 2. Oh, man. It looked like Kevin Harvick put a really ambitious block on the 15 of Clint Boyer. And that got him sideways and spinning down into the field off the front end of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and into the quarter panel of Carl Edwards. Truex now clear with the lead. Side by side with Boyer and Newman now for that 3rd position. Kane looked low. Oh, he's going to get turned. Oh, no. Back up into the 20 car. And another huge crash with about 5 or 6 race cars. Entering turn number 3, a big crash on lap number 6 right off the restart involves the 24 Chase Elliott, the 15 at Clint Boyer, Danica Patrick, Casey Kane, Matt Kenseth, and others. And back down to the backstretch, Kane looked high, came back low, contact with Truex, got the back into that car squirrely, and you saw a lot of those guys back behind them, including Danica Patrick, who were trying to avoid the crash, but just started to get bottled up there. And then caused a big pileup behind them. Oh, you can see Denny Hamlin got into the 15, who must have been checking up for the 2 wrecking cars ahead of him. Jr. still holding onto the top side of the racetrack. Here comes Elliott on the inside. He'll slide up just a little bit here. Oh, we got a caution on the racetrack. It's raining, and they're spinning in the back. Greg Biffle on the outside wall hard. A couple of the cars spin as well, like Matt DiBenedetto, Stewart, and others. And the cautionist flag is out. Now the red flag is out here in Atlanta. And the cars are being brought down pit lane and are forced to come to a halt, and the car coverage going on the cars immediately as the rain has began to fall here in Hampton. And onto the back straightaway, you see Greg Biffle slipping and sliding off the top side of the racetrack. You see the 2 and the 83 get together there as well. And back behind them, you can also see the 27 and 14 cars. And they took a wild spin there as well. 24 machine back down to turn 3. Chase Elliott continues to lead, though. It's the 83 of Matt DiBenedetto trying to follow him, and we have a caution. Oh, they're crashing in turn number 3, and Austin Dillon's into the outside wall on top of the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and the yellow flag is out for the first time here in Darlington. A vicious crash, and turn number 3 takes out the 17 and the 3 cars, and I think that Austin Dillon had some help, and it looked like it might have been Carl Edwards. We'll have to take another look here. And as we see here, yeah, Carl Edwards right on the back bumper. Oh, man, I don't even know what happened. It looks like the 3 of Austin Dillon trying to get down and block the 19 car. Or maybe Carl Edwards tried to make a move and wasn't quite low enough. Yeah, that might be it, as a matter of fact. And Austin Dillon came up, made a little bit of contact with that left rear quarter panel, the number 19 car, and looks like Edwards will be able to jump. But here comes Tony Stewart, 3 wide to the inside. DiBenedetto's going to make the move. Chase Elliott backs out. They're in the wall, and they're going to spin off turn number 2. There goes Logano, and he slides down to the inside wall and somehow keeps it out of it. And the caution flag is out once again here in Darlington, and Joey Logano goes for a wild ride down the back straightaway. Let's see what happened here. They were 3 wide for the lead, and Chase Elliott had to check up. That put Johnson in the wall, shoved the 22-3 wide, and with a little bit of help from Reed Sorensen, he spins down the backstretch, and the second caution is out. Let's see what happened. You see the 24 get hooked on the 48 right there, and there was a lot of discombobulation right there with the 5 22-94 machines, and then they all just Harvick, and they both now go to the white line. So does Chase Elliott. Hamlin up against the outside retaining wall. Oh, he's going to slide in front of him. Chase Elliott on the outside wall hard. A big crash for Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin, and Elliott in the top 4 in points, and Denny Hamlin was looking for some points, is now going to fall way out of the contention for the top 4 spots. And look what happened here off turn number 2. Elliott got loose, slid up in front of him, and a humongous hit from the 11 of Denny Hamlin to the rear end of Chase Elliott puts them both out of this race early. They will finish 31st and 30th. A hard crash. Then up on top of the hood of the 11 car went Chase Elliott, and they both came to a halt right off of turn number 2. With just 6 to go, and a huge stack up with Kyle Larson getting split 3 wide. Logano and Stenhouse to either side. Here's Dillon out of the outside. Here's Junior to the inside, side by side, 3 wide. Now behind him, Trevor Bayne. Oh, he's going to get turned off the front end of Jimmy Johnson, and he collects the 19 of Carl Edwards for the 4th or 5th time this season. Carl Edwards is involved in the crash, and the second caution is out here right off the restart in Las Vegas. And let's see what happened. They were 3 wide. Larson checked them all up. Looked like Trevor Bayne tried to get in behind the 42. He might have thought that he was clear up from the inside of Jimmy Johnson. And then there seemed to be just that little bit of contact as he thought he might have had the momentum to get clear, but clipped himself off the 48. The 19 hard on the inside wall for what just seems to be a horrible season for the 19 of Carl Edwards. And it continues here today in Las Vegas off turn number 2. Hard impact to the inside wall for Trevor Bayne. Side by side for second. Dale Earnhardt Jr. with the lead at turn number 3. Here they come up off turn 4. Stenhouse without high side advantage. He's to the corner panel. They make contact. They're in the wall. And Kevin Harvick's going to win as a massive crash leads to Dale Earnhardt Jr. up and over across the line. Checkered flag is out with the yellow flag in hand. And Kevin Harvick wins this race. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. ends up turtled past the start-finish line. See what happened here. Onto the back straightaway, you saw Jr. with a whale of a lead, and Harvick dove to the inside of Stenhouse for second. And you see down into turn number 3, Earnhardt dove to the white line, but look at Stenhouse with the run. He got to the quarter panel, and some sort of contact led to the 17 and the 88 getting together and up on the outside wall, sandwiched into that outside retaining barrier, with Dale Earnhardt Jr. slamming up onto his side. And a tough crash right there. Oh, man. Vicious hit for Dale Jr. and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., but they still fit Jimmy Johnson down towards turn number 1. Reed Sorensen got shoved down to the inside lane. He makes contact with Jimmy Johnson, and they're wrecking in the back already. Your top 2 in points. Stenhouse and Harvick wrecking on the back straightaway. Yellow flag is out for the first time here today in Pocono. And look what happened. Dale Earnhardt Jr. hooked the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., possibly some sort of issue from the last race in Las Vegas after that massive crash that took place, and a humongous incident on the back straightaway takes over those guys and stay in the top 4 in points. And he's going to under attack now by the 41 and the 31. Oh, they make contact on the tunnel turn, and Chase Elliott goes around, and he's back into the inside wall. The caution is back out, and a huge crash from the number 24 of Chase Elliott takes him out of the hunt for the championship. 1 point above Reed Sorensen, most likely going to be out, and the caution comes out of lap number 5 halfway through this race. Elliott, Kurt Busch, and Ryan Newman contacting the tunnel turn, and let's see what happened here. Coming out of turn number 1, you saw Chase Elliott slide up the racetrack. He did clear the 41 of Busch, and see there might have been contact between the 41 and the 31 heading into the corner, and that got them made contact with the 24 there heading into that tunnel turn number 2. And a tough away from Denny Hamlin. And Tony Stewart sitting quietly in third at the moment. Oh, we got a caution on the racetrack. A big crash on the back straightaway. Allmendinger's around. So is Danica Patrick, Reed Sorensen, and Matt DiBenedetto. And Matt Kenseth sits right up against the outside wall on 2 wheels, right on top of the 94 Reed Sorensen, and the red flag is out here in Watkins Glen. And they all sit there right at the exit of the S's, and what a tough crash for all of them. As a matter of fact, Harvick is your leader still, but let's see what happened here coming out of the S's. Oh man, Danica Patrick just gets turned by AJ Allmendinger. I don't know if Allmendinger was trying to get clear and right behind the 10 of Patrick, and it looks like he might have been trying to do that. And as soon as he made contact, he checked up, and Reed Sorensen plowed in, and so did Kenseth and DiBenedetto. And they were right at the tail end of this field, and a huge crash for those 5 drivers. Flags back in the air, and they get both a really good jump down into turn number 1. Hamlin stays side by side with Kevin Harvick, and they spin behind him. Carl Edwards on the outside wall, so is Jimmy Johnson, Chase Elliott, and Joey Logano. And once again, time after time, Carl Edwards hard into the outside wall and crashing here in the NASCAR Miscraft Cup Series. And he is out of this race once again. And man, let's see what happened here. Edwards just got spun trying to get into turn number 1. Chase Elliott was on the inside, it looked like, trying to get down to the inside right behind Martin Truex Jr. And once they made contact, Johnson got plowed into by Logano, and all 4 of them got sent into the outside wall. You see right here, the 19 got hooked by the 24, and that just sent all of them up to the wall in a big second. And here they come up to the S's for the final time. A little bit of contact there, but Kevin Harvick, he'll stay behind the 17 into the bus stop for the final time. Here they come. Harvick right on his back bumper into the carousel now. As they come through, they make contact. Stenhouse goes around, so does Kevin Harvick. And coming through from 3rd is Tony Stewart. And there's a fight in the carousel. It's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Kevin Harvick, and Harvick's on the ground. And here's why it's clear why it's happened. And Stenhouse was the one who got turned right here by Harvick. Upset most definitely. And they both ended up on the outside wall with both of their championship hopes dashed. And they're going to have to settle that situation here. And on the front stretch, of course, though.